From Ticker News with Aaron Young, this is Ticker Today.
Hello, thanks for joining me. Today, a major escalation in the war in Eastern Europe. Ukraine launching a massive drone attack deep into Russian territory, destroying over 40 warplanes in a bold overnight strike that cost $11 billion. Backlash over tariffs. Anthony Albanese slams Donald Trump's move to double steel and aluminium tariffs, calling it economic self-harm. Australia seeks an exemption as tensions rise between the close allies. And the European Union too, warning of retaliation. Brussels says Trump's tariffs could derail trade talks and trigger new penalties on US exports as legal challenges against the plan now mount. China hits back. Beijing denies US claims of an imminent Taiwan invasion, calling the rhetoric inflammatory. The US responding with fresh calls for defence spending right across the region. And on track, Aussie Oscar Piastri takes victory in the Spanish Grand Prix in a dramatic race, beating out his McLaren teammate as Verstappen now faces a penalty. You are watching Ticker Today, the latest news and business moving the world. Let's get started. First today, Ukraine has launched drone attacks on 4 military airports inside of Russia, resulting in the destruction of over 40 warplanes. The operation, believed to have been in preparation for 18 months, targeted key air bases, marking a significant development in Ukraine's military strategy. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky describing the operation as unique, involving 117 drones and aimed at weakening Russia's long-range aviation capabilities. The Financial Times today reporting that Ukrainian security agencies estimate 34% of Russia's strategic cruise missile carriers were hit in the attack, causing over $11 billion worth of damage. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has responded to calls from the United States for Australia to significantly increase its defence spending amid concerns about China. He reaffirmed Australia's commitment to investment of an additional $10 billion in defence over the next 4 years, while making clear that Australia will decide its own defence policy. Albanese also criticised Donald Trump's decision to double tariffs on steel and aluminium imports as inappropriate and an act of economic self-harm for US consumers. Australia's Trade Minister also stating that they will seek an exemption from the tariffs, while the Defence Minister highlighted the need for a strategic discussion on defence spending. It came as President Trump made the announcement over the weekend.
We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that. So we're bringing it up from 25%. We're doubling it to 50%.
Meanwhile, the European Union expressed disapproval of Trump's decision to double steel tariffs to 50%. They warn the move jeopardises ongoing trade negotiations and may lead to countermeasures against US exports. Meanwhile, the United Steelworkers Union highlights the potential job losses for Canadian workers in the steel and aluminium industries. The Trump administration's tariff strategy faced a setback after a court ruled that the president may have overstepped his authority. Today, China's dismissing claims made by the US Defense Secretary regarding an impending invasion of Taiwan, describing them as unfounded accusations aimed at provoking escalation and conflict. The US is urging allies to increase their defense spending, highlighting a perceived growing threat from China. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warns the threat from China is real.
Clear any attempt by Communist China to conquer Taiwan by force would result in devastating consequences for the Indo-Pacific and the world. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. The threat China poses is real, and it could be imminent. We hope not.
Oscar Piastri has secured a dominant victory in the Spanish Grand Prix, leading his McLaren teammate Lando Norris for a Team 1-2 finish. The race featured dramatic moments, particularly a late collision involving Max Verstappen and George Russell, which resulted in a penalty for Verstappen. Charles Leclerc claimed third place for Ferrari. Following the race, Piastri extends his lead in the Drivers' Championship over Norris. US stocks closed May strongly, with the S&P 500 rising by about 6%, propelled by tech and AI shares after Nvidia's strong results. Inflation data also fell below expectations, which aligns with the Fed Reserve's current policy. This week's the attention now focuses and shifts to the labour market, with the Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking, and also the May jobs report released on Friday. Market analysts expecting key insights into hiring and wage pressures as the US now approaches its summer.